Hey everyone, it's Dylan from H2O Escapes. We are here making a video today with Explora Journeys. So what it is I am a travel agent located in Canada. I'm actually in Ontario. I do run a Facebook group, Cruise Ships, Tips, Tricks, and Reviews for Canadians. And what I do is, as a travel agent, I have a community here. I like to bring on reps from different cruise lines to talk about their cruise ships, their product, and what makes them different from other cruise lines. So I am joined today by Patricia. Patricia works for Explora Journeys, and she's going to talk today about her the ships that the company she works for, the ships, what they represent, what kind of clients like to book on Explora Journeys, and how small ship, ultra luxury cruising could maybe be a potential for you. So if you, I'm super excited for this because I'm actually hosting Distinctive Voyages on Explora Journeys sailing next fall in the Mediterranean. So I'm super excited for this product. It's really a nice thing. Please watch this video, and if you have any other questions, reach out to me afterwards. But yeah, let's just get into it. So Patricia, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Thank you for inviting me. I love doing stuff like this, I'll be honest.
No problem. Thanks for coming. I'm very excited for this. I've been digging in a lot more into Explore Journeys and watching videos, and I've done all your training online, stuff like that. So it's I'm super excited. As I said, I'm going to be on the ship for my first time next year, and I'm selling it to clients, and people are excited, and I'm hearing nothing but good. So that's always a good thing when clients has zero complaints and just ranting and raving, and they're telling their friends how good of a time, how amazing time they're having.
So good. And imagine being me getting to promote this brand, right? Like, as much as I work for the brand, the beauty is I believe in it so much, and I've been on myself several times. As I had mentioned to you earlier. So it is something that I've experienced from many different lenses in different areas of the world, and we really are onto something new and different. There's a lot of different products in this space, and they all do what they do very well. Explora kind of came to be in a different way. So we knew that there was a lot of contemporary lines and luxury lines, river lines. There's a lot of choice out there. For anybody watching this video, it might feel overwhelming sometimes. And what I love about Explora Journeys is we actually came to be out of sort of like this thought or dream of like, how do we make this a super, super yacht? So loving that yacht-like experience, the personalization behind it, the sleekness of it. I mean, the image right here in front of you, you see that stair step design at the very back, and that's on purpose, right? We really wanted it to look like a super yacht. Yeah. So with this idea from our owners, that idea got paired with interviewing 20,000 potential guests of ours. So we went out and we got a consulting company, and we basically asked them, we said, what do you love about cruising? What do you hate about cruising? What do you want to see more of? What do you want to see less of? Why do you choose a land vacation? What is it about land that you love? And if you're a data nerd like me, I read all 400 pages of the summary notes because it was so interesting to hear what clients were looking for, because sometimes you don't know what you're looking for until it's presented to you. And I feel like that's what Explora has done over these last couple of years, because we are still very new. We set sail just 2 years ago. So if Explora is new to anybody watching this video, totally get it. We are new, but we are definitely getting stronger and stronger out there with the consumer recognition as we continue to share stories such as this one.
And you still have that new ship smell.
We sure do. That is the best part. Brand new builds. So absolutely stunningly beautiful. So if it's okay with everybody watching this video, I'm going to take you through a little bit about Explora Journeys, what you'll find on board, why you want to choose that for your next vacation. So, as I mentioned, we interviewed 20,000 clients, asked them what they were looking for, and really what they were looking for was something different. They said, don't give us more of the same. We know what our choices are. Give us something that feels different, but not for the sake of being different, because it's something that we're looking for. So we really actually modeled after a luxury land resort, and we took a look at kind of the template of cruising and what is that, and how do we change that in a way that's really exciting for our clients. So, things like a main dining room and a buffet that doesn't exist on Explora. We've removed that and replaced it with restaurants. When you think of a main theater, cruising tends to be very grounded in that evening show. We've removed that and we've replaced it with 12 bars and lounges. We have 4 different pools. We have a lot of choice. We have a lot of space on board. Like, those were the 2 things that really came through. As guests wanted space, they wanted choice. They didn't want to feel crowded. They wanted to freely get on and off the ship. They wanted to find, a day bed by one of the 4 pools that we have. So we really made sure we addressed that as we built our product. And on top of that, we add a lot of cool experiences, on different journeys. So you see this little video looping around that I have to mention is, we're docked in Monaco for 5 days for the Monaco Grand Prix. We did it last year for the first time. We're returning in 2026, where we truly act as your luxury land resort while you then have access to the Formula One. So lots of cool and different.
Those rooms do sell out. So if you're interested in that, you're a Formula One person, you got to let me know for 2026, even 2027 you're interested, and I'll get you put on the list.
Absolutely. And the wait list is there because there is such high demand. Last year was the first year, so everybody kind of stands back, waits and sees, and then they saw the different parties that we threw on board and how close we were. So again, doing something completely different and making sure that we're really accommodating that client that's looking for something new and different. Now, when we talk about different, when we talk about space and we talk about choice, what you see in front of you are some images of our suites. Our suites are so incredibly beautifully designed right from our quote unquote entry level. So if you look at that, bottom right-hand corner, that's our Ocean Terrace suite. That is 377 square feet of just pure beauty. So you are, walking into a chilled bottle of French champagne upon your arrival. You'll have a bottle of spirit and a bottle of wine to enjoy for the duration of your journey. You have a beautiful living area, a gorgeous terrace with a daybed and a dining table, like the daybed itself. And again, very purposely built. We are forward facing. Guests told us they want to retreat back to their suites, kind of chill out and relax. No better way than forward facing, checking out the ocean or the different views. I was very lucky this summer to be sailing in the Mediterranean. So as we were going down the Amalfi Coast, I just sat out there and watched such beautiful views. I mean, I'm really painting a good picture, I hope, but it is so wonderful. And there's also a dining table out there because all day in-suite dining is included. So how about having breakfast out there in the morning versus rushing, getting ready and going out for breakfast? It can be delivered directly and set up on your terrace as you ease into your morning. Another beautiful thing that we do on Explora that's a little bit different is we arrive at non-traditional times. So what does that mean? It means we arrive at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and then we stay for 11 to 12 hours on average. So specifically in the Mediterranean, if we kind of focus there, if you're not arriving till 10 a.m., that means you have plenty of time to order your breakfast, ease into your morning, shower, get ready, and then head out. And then from 10 a.m., not leaving till 10 or 11 p.m. at night, you can see the beaches, you can enjoy a day out there, you can enjoy a day of shopping, you can watch a sunset, you can see how the city lights up in the evening. Many times, and I was on board for 2 weeks, we would go out during the day, come back, take a little rest, have something to eat, have something to drink, and then head out again for nighttime. That in and of itself is a luxury. Time is luxury, and that's something that we're really delivering at Explora Journeys. And I can say that firsthand really is completely different than what we're seeing out there.
Mm-hmm.
So when we take a look at other ways that we have updated, so I mentioned this in my opening about replacing our main theaters. Clients weren't looking for that. They were saying to us, if we want to go see a show, we can go to New York Broadway. I mean, we're both Canadian based, so we're going downtown Toronto to one of the Mirvish productions. That's not really what we're looking for. What we're looking for is kind of the right vibe for the right time, a little more relaxed, a little bit more easy. So we have different bars and lounges that light up from day to night. So we have some that are outdoors. So we have our Sky Bar, for example. As we're sailing away or as the sun is going down, we do a sunset aperitivo. We have a DJ up there. So great way to kind of recap your day, have a drink, watch the sail away. Really beautiful. We have our lobby bar, which I think that image itself will always be my favorite, no matter how many times I've seen it, because I think that really demonstrates how we are different than what is out there. Typically, if you think of the center of a ship, you kind of think of that staircase and chandelier. I think our cruise minds are trained for that, and you see lots of pictures being taken there. This is the center of our ship. So if you didn't know this was a cruise or, an ocean experience, you would ask, what land resort is that? Is that the Four Seasons? Is it, an Amman or a one and only? And actually it's Explora Journeys. So very, very different feeling there. We have our malt whiskey bar. So knowing whiskey, I feel like it's having a moment, but those dark brown spirits, having that conversation with your mixologist. So really, really beautiful. We have different musical performances. So our Journeys Lounge will have, a live band and different interactions. We'll have a piano bar. We have, a guitarist. So lots of different options for guests who are looking for something a little bit different than what they're used to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we talk about our ocean wellness, so our mantra is discovering the ocean state of mind. So when you actually think about what that means, and I know none of you will do this, but go with me on it as you're listening. If I told you to close your eyes and picture the ocean state of mind, all of us would picture something different, but the feeling would probably be the same. It just kind of calms you, it relaxes you. Like no one hates looking at the ocean. Everyone feels a little bit calmer when you're looking out. So we really want to find a way to bring that indoors on the different elements that we're offering to our clients. So for example, we have 4 different pools to choose from, as I mentioned, right? So there are 3 that are outdoor, 1 that is indoor, so we could protect against the elements. So if there happens to be a day that's not so favorable, or we're in colder areas of the world, we still have that as a sacred place. We have a spa thermal area that's inclusive of the journey. So you see that hydrotherapy pool right in front of you. We also have a sauna, a salt cave, heated marble loungers, lots of different options, all inclusive with the journey. So great way to bring that outdoor ocean feeling indoors. And then we have our fitness program. So fitness is definitely not an afterthought. We do have 2 sort of different areas. We have one where it's, a studio with classes running 5 days, 5 classes a day, 30 minutes each. You have your opportunity to work out on your own, or perhaps participating in something like a sound bath or meditation or yoga. So lots of different ways to kind of connect you, relax you. Us North Americans are very stressed out. So we really count on these vacations to unwind and relax. So we want to make sure that we bring that indoors for our clients as well. So really nice touches here.
I know my wife will be in that spa 100%.
Absolutely. I was there every day after our long walks outside. I really needed the time to relax.
Yeah. This is the restaurant I'm excited for. You just put the photo up there.
There you go. Yeah. And our culinary. So if after this video we get you excited and you start Googling and looking and watching other videos on what we've produced on our Explora Journeys channel, you will see an amazing, amazing, amazing view of our culinary program. So again, guests told us, don't give us a main dining room with banquet style meals. Do not give us a buffet. We're not interested. So we really started from scratch and took a look at how we can deliver culinary a little bit different. So what we did is we're offering 6 different restaurants. So we have Fil Rouge, which is our French-inspired restaurant. We have Med Yacht, which is Mediterranean style, so sort of like a tapas sharing menu from different Mediterranean, so Italian, Greek, Spanish, North African items, followed by some mains and delicious desserts. You have Sakura, which is kind of the top left-hand corner. So this will always be my favorite, mainly because I can't cook any of these dishes, but this is our Pan-Asian restaurant. So Japanese, Thai, Vietnamese food, so fantastic assortment here. And then during the day, also on our port days, open for lunch. We have Marble & Co., which is our steakhouse. So we source locally. So we want to make sure we're very sustainable and we support all of the different areas that we are traveling to. We have a dry ager on board. But perhaps you don't eat meat. Perhaps you're vegan or vegetarian for that matter. Each and every one of our restaurants has a wide assortment of selection. So the steakhouse doesn't automatically get omitted if you do not eat steak. We have lots of vegan options, well past the stuffed mushroom, which unfortunately vegans tend to get as their option. We have lots of different options. Our head of culinary himself is vegan, so lots of great options there. We have Anthology, which is the only restaurant on board that there's an additional fee for. But Anthology is mirrored after sort of this Michelin star style restaurant. So a 7-course tasting menu paired with different wines. The chef comes out and speaks to you. It's a very, very fun experience, really catered to those foodies. If you just simply like food like me, then you're taken care of in our other restaurants. And then last but not least is our Emporium Marketplace. So I mentioned no buffet. Now, the beauty of a buffet, if there is such a thing, go with me on this, is that it's quick. Sometimes that's, in the morning especially, maybe you just want a yogurt and a piece of fruit. Maybe at lunch you just want a quick sandwich. You don't necessarily want a plated meal. That's where buffets come in handy because it can just be very quick. You serve yourself, eat and go. So we understood the value behind the quickness, but we didn't want to remove the luxury. So what we did is we created a marketplace. So it's 18 live cooking stations that evolve from breakfast to lunch to dinner. And everything is served to you. So you go up and order what you'd like, but nothing is touched by you. It is all served by our culinary team, and our hosts are there to accompany you back to your table. So you're still getting the same luxury service that you would expect, but everything is prepared a minute. And it's funny because, breakfast is, you can have your bacon and eggs, or you can have your healthier chia seed bowls and things of that nature. At lunch, open sushi bar, different sandwiches and whatnot. But it's funny because usually on nights 3 or 4, and we all do this if we've cruised, you kind of say, let's go check what the buffet's serving before we go to our dinner. We all do it. I don't know why we do it. But then you walk through Emporium and you're like, hang on a minute. There's prime rib being carved. There is freshly shucked oysters. There are crab legs and lobster tails. So the quality of ingredient, regardless of where you are, including our marketplace, continues at that luxury level. So we want to make sure, and this is why we're winning awards for our culinary program. This is why we get, when we do our surveys at the end of people's journeys, the 2 areas that we shine every single week are our culinary program and our service. Our service is incredibly intuitive. Our guest to host ratio is 1.25 to 1. So you essentially have someone catering to your needs without being overly pushy or like you feeling uncomfortable. They know when to dip in and dip out and make sure that they're serving you as well. So lots of good happening here.
I just want to add before you continue on. So you mentioned the vegetarian, vegan, stuff like that, but also I know you guys are pretty good also with the allergies. If people are gluten-free, celiac, or if you peanuts or anything like that, that's something you would work with me as a travel agent. You let me know, say, hey, I have this special diet, or I have this special allergy. My husband, my parents, my kids, whoever you are, bring with you, and then I can help contact the ship and then say, hey, just let you know I have someone coming on board that's celiac's a big one, right? It's like celiac, or it's like, you know what, I have someone that's anaphylactic to peanuts. Like they want to know, and they'll work with you to make sure that you have a great vacation.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up because it is a really big deal. So on our menus, gluten-free is marked everywhere. So gluten-free is one thing. Celiac is definitely a lot more extreme. So we definitely need you to work with Dylan and make sure that that is noted in your file. And essentially what happens once it's noted on your file, the ship is informed prior to you arriving. And then the head of culinary will actually seek you out on day 1 to make sure that they fully understand the extent of your allergies, what they can do. I was actually with someone who had allergies. They consistently come out. Is everything okay? We made sure this, that, and the other thing. So it is actually handled extremely well. For someone that doesn't have allergies, I can't speak to it personally, but I have heard that. So that is definitely
kosher,
really
anything you need.
Yes.
If you have a special diet, just let us know.
You got it. You got it. So all of that said, and I've kind of painted this picture of, what does the ship look like? What do we have? Like a lot of times, like who are our clients? Who would enjoy Explora Journeys? And truthfully, I don't know anybody that wouldn't enjoy Explora Journeys. So, when you take a look at who do we have on board right now, it is quite a range. So, we do have well-traveled guests, and well-traveled being, travel is definitely a very important part of why you save your hard-earned money. So whether it's 1 vacation a year, 2 vacations a year, whether you're a family or you're going as a couple or you're going solo, we do welcome obviously all of those on board, and we make sure we cater to those different categories of people. Those that have never cruised, believe it or not, we're getting a lot of first-time cruisers. We don't call them cruisers. We don't feel like we're a traditional cruise. But, a lot of the stigma of what cruising is, or a lot of the expectation, these rigid schedules and bingo, which doesn't really exist anymore the way that they claim it to be. It is a lot of stuff, but they are now considering Explora Journeys. Solo travelers. So if I'm speaking to any solo travelers, or if I have clients or you have clients, forgive me, that like to travel together, however, want their own space. So I can speak myself, me and my girlfriends, we love to travel together, but we're not sharing a bedroom. We're not sharing a bathroom. We want our space. Solo travelers, we're really winning in that space for a few reasons. Solo, we only charge a very low solo supplement of 25%. And then there is also the option many times where there's a 0% solo supplement. So solos are trying us. We do a lot of solo programming as well. We do meetups, whether it's coffee, drinks, dinners. And they are actually our fastest rebookers because they're coming on board saying, oh, no, I love this. This is great. I was able to meet people, or I was able to just kind of sit back, read my book and enjoy. So definitely winning in that space. And then multi-gen travel. So, we've heard this for many, many years. This is nothing new about, families wanting to travel together. I always use, grandma and grandpa 50th wedding anniversary. They definitely want to stay in that luxury space, want to make sure they have some options. Explora kind of opens that door for them as well. Adult children, grandchildren. So what we're seeing in the children's space, I have traveled with my own, but they're teenagers and really all they need is Wi-Fi. So they were quite happy. They had their suite and their Wi-Fi and they were good. So we're kind of either getting the little guys that really stick with mom and dad, or we're getting sort of that older teen. The in-between, it's up to you as a parent to qualify your child. We do have a Nautilus club, we do have programming, we have hosts, we have Xboxes and VR sets and all that great stuff. If your child is really looking for slides and children's performances, I'm sure you are able to qualify accordingly, right? So just
my daughter's 3 years old right now. My wife was asking me, she's like, oh, like when we do the cruise I'm hosting next year, I'm bringing my wife on with me. So she asked like, oh, should we bring our daughter? I'm like, not a chance. Like she needs a Royal Caribbean, a Disney, some of the slides and kids clubs where they're finger painting and running around on the sports court for 3 hours. Like to sit down and read a book, that's not her, right? She's just too busy of a kid. But like, mind you, I have other friends who kids are 8 years old and like their favorite thing to do is to read, and they would actually like the education and the aspect and the slower pace of things, right?
Totally. And that's us as parents. We have to make that decision and qualification. Yep. So we absolutely welcome them on board, but obviously parents are smart enough to qualify their children on if this product is right for them. Now, what are they looking for when they're on board? Again, very wide question, but it really does give off that boutique hotel vibe. So if that's what you're looking for, something a little more relaxed, knowing that intuitive service is there, all the different bars, lounges, and pools, that's kind of what you're getting with us. You're in luxury, but it's a bit understated, which I love. So never feel stuffy and you don't feel like you don't belong no matter who you are. This might be your first time moving into the luxury space, perhaps from a competitor's product. And truthfully, many times if you were to price out a product that you wouldn't necessarily put directly beside us, you will find that Explora Journeys is actually very economical in the sense, which is not a word I use often, but when you discover that everything's including and you're not doing all these add-ons and then finding this bill at the end of your cruise, you're starting to realize, hang on a second, maybe this is the product for me. Maybe this is where I should start putting more of my attention and focus to build a vacation there.
Yeah.
It is
even especially what you just said with the solo supplements and stuff. If you're a solo cruiser and you go on one of the mass market lines or premium lines, I'm talking Celebrity, Princess, Holland America, Cunard, but you go solo and where you're paying 150, 175%, if not 200% solo supplements, you're pushing like 10,000 if not more, when it's like, hey, you might be able to do something here and like dollar for dollar, like you might even save money in some situations, right?
Yep. Sometimes a little bit of research, but that's where you come in handy, right? That's what your job is to kind of lay out, here's your different options. But oftentimes Explora does really come out on top when you recognize all that is coming with it. Guests are looking for something new and different. I mean, if anybody's listening to this video, you have likely traveled a lot. You've been to different places, whether it's, as simple as going to, Florida for, and renting a condo, whether it's a cruise, whether it's going to Europe, it doesn't matter. You've probably traveled. And if you're looking for something different and new and something to really unwind and see the world differently, this is really it. And this is, again, offering a lot of differences here. So I actually just wanted to touch on what is included. So I think that's important to note. Everything is very thoughtfully included on Explora. So basically on board, everything is included. Anything off the ship is not, is the easiest way to explain it. But I will just kind of highlight what is included. So that in-suite bottle of champagne, as I mentioned, with the bottle of spirit and wine to choose. Unlimited beverages, fine wines, and premium spirits throughout the ship, so at all of our bars and lounges. But also important to note, perhaps you don't drink alcohol. Totally fine. Many people don't. We have an extensive list of mocktails because a lot of the enjoyment sometimes of drinking is being able to sit at that lobby bar and interact with that mixologist, talk about your day, what port were you visiting, and watching them prepare those ingredients in that drink. So we want to make sure we're very inclusive in that way. So definitely not an afterthought and not soda water with a splash of cranberry. A lot of fun cocktails that we create. One of our culinary experiences, access to our spa thermal area and the well-being and fitness programs, as I mentioned. Complimentary high-speed Wi-Fi. I'm going to talk about this for a sec because this is so much more important than I think sometimes we realize, because I think we live in a world where we expect Wi-Fi. But how many times have you gone and Wi-Fi is included and you can't connect, or the wheel spins and it's just not truly high-speed Wi-Fi? So we have 2 different satellite providers that we use. So if one is not strong in a certain area of the world, we can kick in the second. We have a router in each and every suite, and we have obviously in public spaces as well. And then each guest per room gets 3 devices per guest. So that's 6 devices per suite if you're traveling as double occupancy. And so you're never having to log in and log out. And the reason this is really important because our average age on board is a little bit younger than traditional luxury lines. So we're averaging at around 52. So 52 tells us we probably have a affluent working traveler. It's not exclusively 52. I'm careful when I talk age because then everyone's like, oh my God, I'm younger, I'm older, what do I do? No, it's not that. It's just telling us that we do have someone that likely is checking in much beyond just checking in at home, but maybe they own a business, maybe they have to stay in contact. There is nothing worse than not being able to connect to Wi-Fi. So this has become a really big selling feature. You don't have to upgrade, you don't have to do anything like that, all included.
It's the fast package.
Yeah.
So a lot of the other cruise lines
Okay.
too, for people who cruise, a lot of times will be maybe there's free internet or there'll be a basic Wi-Fi, which might be enough to get on social media on Facebook, but not enough to video call
Right.
your kids or grandkids, or if you have to send files, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
but Explorer gives you the good internet. So the fast
For sure.
one.
And I've done a live Zoom webinar while at sea for consumers. So if that
Okay.
gives you any indication of how good our streaming is, it really is. So just
Yeah.
something to definitely keep in mind. So no upcharging there. All of our onboard gratuities are included. And then shuttle services from port to city center. So valuable in the Mediterranean in the summer. That one I will say, when it's so hot, it's so nice that that shuttle brings you directly into the center and then runs every 20 to 30 minutes. So, after a whole day of walking around, probably really hot and just wanting to get to the steps of the ship, really nice to have that shuttle waiting there for you, bringing you directly back. So everything that's on board is included. When I say everything off the ship is not, so for example, air would not be included, as well as shore excursions, which we call destination experiences. So the reason we didn't include them in the journey cost is because when we did our research, guests told us, please don't include them for a few reasons. So one was, I don't want to get off the ship, get on a bus and do what everyone else is doing. Okay, we can debate that one. The second was, if it's included, that means I'm paying for it. Now, if I'm paying for it and either I don't get the shore excursion I want because I booked in too late and maybe that's now waitlisted, or I've been to Barcelona 10 times, I have family there, I don't necessarily want to do a shore excursion, but it's included in the price, so I'm paying for something, blah, 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 blah. So we just said, you know what, this makes sense to remove it. So what we do is we have a menu that you can choose from, and it's a la carte, and there's a variety of different options, a variety of different price points as well. So as simple as some city tours and some shopping tours to helicopter rides. So there literally is something for everyone, but that is over and above the journey cost, should you choose. So that's kind of what's included and what's not included with Explora.
I'm just going to put a little dig in there for the one I'm hosting, though. The Distinctive Voyages program. So me as a travel agent, I'm part of a giant consortium, and then they bring me on this ship. I'm going to be a host this 1 week. We're doing a journey of lush landscapes and golden enrichment in the Mediterranean, mostly Greece, Croatia, and ending in Venice. But part of the program is actually the one day we get a free excursion. So if you're looking just for some value added stuff, like, hey, I want to go on a cruise, I don't want to do Mediterranean, I would love to do Explora Journeys, come on one of these sailings, something like this where I can host, and you get a free cocktail party. But the big thing is the free excursion, and that's one extra thing you don't have to worry about.
Love it. Great plug. Love it. Now, if I was presenting to you not that long ago, there would be 2 little dots on this map. However, we have 5 out of our 6 ship open for deployment, open for bookings. So we began with Explora 1 in 2023. Oh my gosh, it's crazy how fast that has gone. And then introduced Explora 2 last September. So these 2 ships have really been, they're the only 2 currently sailing. So they've really done Mediterranean sort of late spring right out until the fall, and then spending a Caribbean season. So we've been kind of shipping them back and forth between. We have recently opened up a deployment on Explora 3. So she'll join our luxury fleet in summer of 2026. So now you can see, like, I know it's very, very tiny, but she'll start in the Med. She'll do Northern Europe, Iceland and Greenland, some beautiful itineraries there. There's even a beautiful itinerary beginning in Reykjavik, going all the way down to Quebec City, or you can take it all the way down to New York. So seeing some kind of that Canada East Coast and New England, spending a little bit of time in the Caribbean before kind of wrapping her way around the West Coast and then ending in Alaska. So Alaska will be the newest luxury ship in Alaska, and lots of cool itineraries there, which I'll highlight in just a moment. And then the long-awaited Asia. So we just announced this. So I swear, from when I joined this brand, all I kept getting asked for is Asia, specifically Japan, specifically, the cherry blossom season. So very excited to finally have that in 2027. So if you're forward thinking, forward planning, definitely consider Asia on Explora Journeys. And then we've opened up Explora 4 and 5. So following similar patterns to what you see in previous journeys. So essentially what will happen is, now that we have all these ships, they'll start to be stationed in certain areas of the world, so that, it gives you a lot of choice as the client or as our guest to really visit all the different areas of the world. The other thing I want to point out is, so we are open-ended. So what does that mean? That means we can begin in Barcelona and in Rome. We can start in Miami and in San Juan. We can start in Athens and in Istanbul. And it's very purposeful. So first and foremost, we want to be an and choice. So not either land or a cruise. Why can't you do both? So maybe you've never seen Greece. You want to start in Athens, do a little bit on land before joining us, and then going up and seeing Croatia and different areas and parts of Italy. It's also so that, and they're typically 7-night journeys, not all the time, but they're 7-night journeys because the feedback we got when we first started was, you know what, keep them to 7-night journeys, because for those of us that can travel longer, we can just simply do back to back to back. So instead of a 7-night, we can do a 14, 21, 28, what have you. And the beauty is we don't repeat ports for several journeys in a row. So this affords you the opportunity, if you're going to do a back to back, you're not repeating anything, which is not very common. So again, very purposely thought out when we planned our different journeys. So something to absolutely keep in mind. So I'm going to highlight Alaska. The reason being, hopefully there's a lot of Canadians on. We're round trip Vancouver. So we have a lot of journeys that are round trip Vancouver. So Alaska sometimes is open jaw as well. Really hard to get back home when it's an open jaw versus a round trip Vancouver. So we have a lot of different varieties here. We'll be the newest ship in Alaska in 2027. This continues to be a trending area. We'll visit all those highly desired ports that you see. So Juneau, Skagway, Ketchikan, Sitka. So we'll definitely cover all of those. We'll have glacier viewing. I don't know how we do this, but also not repeating ports on a 14-night journey. So if you're going for 14 nights in Alaska, it's actually quite incredible that you're not repeating ports. And because we stay a lot longer, you really can get into destination without rushing, because Alaska can be very port heavy and you really want to get into the destination. We give you plenty of time so that you're not exhausted after your journey with us. So we want to make sure we remain flexible in that area. So lovely options here as we move Explora 3. And then with Asia, which again, I cannot wait. This is by far the most requested area of the world. So
I'm gonna figure out a way to get myself on this sailing.
I agree. We'll do it together. We'll figure something out. We'll make it work. But we'll feature 10 different countries. We have 47 different destinations that we're going to be visiting here. We have 15 overnight stays, which I actually didn't talk about overnights, but each and every journey, we really try to include an overnight as well. So when I was on board, just most recently, we stayed overnight in Ibiza, for example. So what a great place to stay, see how the city lights up. So we'll do that in all of the different areas of the world that we visit. We'll be there for Chinese Golden Week. You'll be there for Chinese New Year. We will be there not only for the cherry blossom season, which is absolutely the most important, or the one that we get talked about a lot, but we'll also be there for fall foliage. So lots of different great options. And again, on a brand new ship. So no better way to see Asia than on Explora Journeys, knowing that we are your floating hotel at sea. So all that said, that's Explora Journeys, friends. It is brand new. It is, new car smell, as you mentioned earlier when we kicked this off.
New ship smell, new ship smell.
New ship smell, yes, new ship smell. So there you go. But that's Explora Journeys. It is really a great product. I really encourage you to ask some questions. If you've listened to the end of this presentation, it means I've hooked you and intrigued you. Again, I know I work for the brand, but I truly, genuinely believe in it. It is something that is completely different than what you've seen out there. And you do come home very relaxed. You've been given so much time at all of these destinations. You do have some at-sea days. You're pampered throughout. The food is fantastic. Maybe you come back a few pounds heavier, but who cares? Just work it off when you get back home.
I saw I believe it was the Explorer 2. I saw it in port in Miami when we were doing after a Christmas cruise we did last year with my family. And it's 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. All the lights were off and all the just like on the ships, you had individual rooms. So we were just pulling back in the port, and then Explorer just goes by us slowly. And my wife's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "That's Explorer. That's a ship. I've never actually seen one." Taking pictures, videos of it, like even at night, just all lit up. It's beautiful looking ship, right?
Love it.
Yeah. So thank you very much for coming on today, Patricia. So for everyone else watching, like reach out to me if you have any questions about Explore Journeys. If you want anything from just you want pricing, you want to know about different availabilities, or you have some questions as far as like, hey, what do you think about this? Dylan, what do you think about that? If I don't know, I always find stuff out online. Last chance, I can always even go to Patricia and I can ask her for your on your behalf. Say, hey, I got a client that has a really specific request here. Can we make this happen for them? And then normally what I do is I deal with her, and then she deals with Explore for me, back and forth. But yeah, just check out Explorer's website. Check out my website. I have access to a bunch of PDFs and stuff like brochures I can send you. If you're somewhere in North America watching this, because I do upload this video on Facebook, on YouTube, pretty much name it anywhere. If you want a brochure mailed out to you, just let me know. I'll mail one out to you. And then we can start having that conversation. So yeah, again, if you want to get on one of these, it's awesome. I'm doing that cruise, as I mentioned a couple times now, October 5th to 12th next year in the Mediterranean. I'll be more than happy to get you some prices and have a discussion and bring you on board.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thanks. So again, Dylan H2O Escapes, and Patricia, have yourself a great day.
Take care, everyone.